the violin case. We are on page 6 for the done and dusted for 3 spaces in line, and then we will do the introduction for Route 404. So here's your done and dusted for 3 spaces in line. If you can play it exactly like this with me, then we can go on to Route 404. 1, 2, 3, play. 2, 3, 4. And all 3 fingers down. Climb back up. Two, three, four. 2, 3, 4, measure 24. There we are. If you could play it just like that, with your fingers all coming down as a unit, with that pattern that we talked about, where second finger is friends with third finger, and first finger and third finger on the tape, then you've got this one. Now let's look at Route 404, because we want to talk about bowings and how these bowings are prepped for. So we have a short bow on the first one, and then a long bow, and then a short bow. So because we have quarter note, half note, quarter note, and then another half note. So instead of starting this at the frog and then having to do the half note from the middle of the bow up, we're going to actually start in the middle of the bow. So get your position, make sure you can hold it with your chin and your shoulder. Then start in the middle of the bow instead of at the frog, so that then we're at the tip for the half note. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 2. So by starting in the middle of the bow, we've prepped the bow for being able to have enough of a long bow to get all the way through those first few measures. Now if we look at the next measures, measure 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 2 half notes, then another half note, both third finger, then open A, then third finger. I'm not concerned about you learning these note names on this exercise. It's more of just getting used to putting your fingers down and having them on the tapes, and then having that coincide with the bow pull. The bow pull is back and forth, and your fingers are up and down, and sometimes that can throw people off a little bit, and your bow will get a little bit scratchy and wonky when you add the left hand. So it's good to just not think about notes too much. We're thinking about putting first, second, third finger down as a unit while the bow is still being pulled. Now if we look at the second line, those are all whole notes for the first few 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measures. Then we go to all quarter notes until the very end note. So let's try this. I'm confident that you can do the third finger on A, then open A, then third finger on D, then open A. Then let's go to this open D to third finger on G to open D. And this is also a little bit of a duet, so you'll get to hear a little bit about how this sounds with a duet, and we'll do metronome at that point. But second line, open D starts, and then third finger on the G string, and you're going to raise your arm for the arm playing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, nice long pull then. 2, 3, 4, then open D again. And then we go to the third finger on the G again. Then open G. So not too difficult on the second line. Let's now go to where the quarter notes start. So this may not be something that you know or understand right now, and that's totally fine, but we're going open G to third finger on the D string, which is also called a G. It's just 8 notes higher. That's called an octave. Then we have open D, 8 notes higher to third finger on the A string is also D. Then open A to 8 notes higher on the E string, third finger is also A. And then we go open third, open third, open third, open third, open third, open third, climbing back down. So let's try it. I want you to start on the last measure of the second line. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then open D. So you're planning your bow pull. Now change your bow to the E. So the first measure you have to change your bow to the next string. So you go G, G, then change and put your finger down at the same time. Now don't change the bow level this time, but change it for the next one. Don't change your bow playing, and now change your bow playing. So when you're planning and looking ahead, you have to make sure you're putting your fingers down correctly and moving your bow if you need to. Looking a little bit ahead in your music sometimes will help prep. Right now, I'm assuming that you haven't read too much music, so you may be reading each individual note. At some point, you're going to get patterns built into your visual field, and you'll know that that's open third, and what strings they're on. Right now, you may be hesitating. So don't be stressed about not getting this quite all the way. The next video will do a done and dusted for Route 404, and then we will introduce the metronome, and we'll do the duet together. Have a great practice time, future violinist of America or whatever country you're in. I will see you next time.